to the GameCube. It's one of my favourite consoles ever, but time has not been kind to this one that I picked up off of eBay. The disk drive isn't working, so it won't read games. It feels like it's taken a bath in a can of Coke, and I'm surprised this thing has got any cooling capacity whatsoever, because the whole vent is just blocked up with dust. So we're going to see if we can fix all these problems today. We're going to give it a bit of a sympathetic restoration by cleaning it inside and out. We're going to fit a Picoloader drive so we can load some games. While we've got it open, we're going to fit some new thermal pads just so it's cooled well for the next 20 years. So I think let's just not keep talking. Let's crack the cube open and let's get modding. So the first thing we're going to do is open the GameCube up. So we just need to take out the 4 screws in the corners. These are the game bit screws, so you'll need a special screwdriver to do this. But you can pick them up off Amazon, and quite often they're included with kits. Pretty grimy and grotty in here, so we're going to have to give this a really good clean. So we'll start to take this apart in a sec, and then we can get all this grime and grease off of all of the components. So the back panel just clips off, and the front panel again, we just want to take out this ribbon cable. And now we're just going to take out the fans and the power supply. Now we've done that, we want to take out all these screws around the edge. I think there's about 14 screws in total. Nintendo don't do things by halves when they put screws in their consoles. Now we can take out these 4 screws that hold these grounding plates in place, sit just above the controller ports. And there we go, all done. And now the drive should just pop off. So the thermal pads on this are going to be over 20 years old, so I think it's going to be a good idea to replace those while we've got it open, especially while we're just cleaning it all up. And then we can get under the board and clean up under there as well. So let's just take these 6 screws out. You want to just make sure you remember which screws came from where, just because there are so many of them, and they're all different sizes and shapes. But yeah, so this is the thermal paste that we're going to clean off, and we're going to replace with some nice new thermal pads. And now we can get to the underside, so we can clean up all of the shell as well. This is just held in place by 2 screws, so nice and easy to take out. Should just lift out now. And then we get access to the under the side of the board. So let's just take this board out as well. Just held in with 4 Phillips screws. Just untangle that cable, and it should just come out. There we go. Now we should just be able to lift out all of this shielding. Some of it was a little bit stuck in place, but we got it out in the end. Yep, these ones came out nice and easy, that's good. And then we could just take out these 4 metal screw posts as well. Now we're all ready pretty much to give this a good old clean. So let's just take these covers off. And now let's just take the board off of the front panel, because we want to give that a really good clean as well. And let's just dismantle the case. So we're going to give this a nice clean with some soapy water in the mo. Just look at how disgusting this filter is. Let's take that out, that can get in the bath as well. Let's take out all the buttons, because these were what were sticking. Now let's clean it all up. So I'm just cleaning these up with some contact cleaner, so I've just sprayed it in and I'm just sort of cleaning around it with a cotton bud. Same here with the fan, just using a mixture of contact cleaner and alcohol. I'm giving it a wipe down with. I mean, look at how dirty they're getting. So I'm just gently going to scrub down all these boards with the toothbrush as well, because they're really grotty. All the boards are really sticky inside. I don't know where this has been stored, but it's absolutely vile. Let's try to get into all the little nooks and crannies. And I think let's clean the laser as well. It's switched to, just in case these are what's stopping the disk from reading. You never know. Anyway, let's take off the thermal paste. Just using a plastic spudger here because I don't want to damage the heatsink. Just get rid of that. It comes off nice and easy. It wasn't actually in too bad a condition, but it's not going to hurt to replace it. Just clean these up with some alcohol. Now we can put the new pads in place. So I just measured these up and cut them to size. It was quite easy really. Now we can just remove the plastic film and set this aside, ready to put back on. So now we've got everything clean, let's just start putting the drive back together. Get that into place. Just hold that and turn it over, and then we can put the screws back in. Now we can slot all the metal screw posts back in before we start screwing it all back together. Let's just slot all these shieldings back in place. And these screws. It all goes back together quite easy, but like I said, you just need to remember what screws came from where, because a lot of them look similar lengths, but actually they're a little bit different. Shielding back on. And now we can put the main motherboard back in place. Just click that in. Just needs to be screwed back down. So I'm doing like opposite side screws just to try and even out the pressure that's being placed on the chips below and just get a nice contact between the thermal pads and the heatsink. With that all done, we can move on to the, not the flippy drive, that's going to be another video. Now we can move on to the Picoloader. So you need to be very gentle when you're folding this in place. The first fold is just going to be just down the middle. You just want to make sure you don't actually crease it. Now I'm just going to flip it over, and then you want to fold is just past the gold pins where the ribbon starts to stick out a little bit further. And this should sort of create a shape. You can sort of see there, it looks a little bit like a V. And this will be sandwiched between the motherboard and the DVD drive port. You can sort of see it there on the top right. So let's just bring it over, zoom in a little bit. And you can see here, I'm just folding it in and sliding it down over the pins. So you can sort of see how, when we push the DVD drive onto there, it's going to make a connection with the gold pins that are then passing through the signal to the drive. So this drive isn't actually working, so it's not that vital, but if you've got a working drive, this is great, so you can still play your existing discs. Then that should just slot over the top. Let's just feed the cable through the side of the shielding. Just be really careful there. And then we should be able to just push it down. Yep, there we go. Once we've done that, let's turn our attention to the Picoloader. So here's the 3D mounted bracket. I'm just going to screw this onto the bracket. Just comes with a couple of little tiny screws, so one in each corner. Okay, they seem to have included a spare as well, but we just, pop that one screw down up there, another screw down in the bottom corner, and then this is just going to attach to the case. So let's grab that, bring the console over, and then we can just pop that in place there. You can sort of see how it just connects up to the shielding next to where the Picoloader flex cable is poking through the side of the case. So we just use the original screws to hold this down. It does mean one of the screw holes gets covered, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. Now we can go around and refit all of the screws. So I'll see you all again in a mo. So while we're here, let's refit these grounding plates. We use the 4 longer screws here that came out. While we're in here, I think we should just replace the battery so that the clock's going to be good for another 15 or 20 years. I had some spare batteries laying around after doing my N64 cartridge battery replacement, so I just used one of those, but I'll stick a link to that video up in the corner. With that done, I think we get the front panel back together. So that just slides over the 2 posts. We can whiz those 2 screws back in. All pretty easy, really. Let's get the fan back together. Oh, put too many screws back in. Just bear with me one sec while I just nip those out. These 2 here. Done that. Now let's pop this back in place. Fix it in the edit, I promise. And I'm just going to put a USB power supply in as well because, you know, why not? Now let's just get the back panel back on. Front panel. Just put that ribbon back in. Clickety click, all done. Now we can just put the power supply leads back in. Now let's work our magic putting the top of the shell back together. Alright, now slide that on, just be careful not to catch the side of the Picoloader. And let's turn it over and whiz the screws back in. Alright, let's put all the screws back in the bottom. And then we can put all the covers back on and an SD card reader into the serial port. So I'm using SD to SP2 card reader. We'll just slide that into there so we can put our memory card in. Let's just click that in place and we're about done. Let's just test the buttons aren't sticking anymore. Nice. And we can put all the covers back in place. And I think we're done. I'll see you in a sec. So we've finished building our GameCube. We put everything together, we've got the Picoloader fitted, and it's already preloaded with Swiss, so I think it's now time to boot this up and check everything works. And everything seems to be working properly. So I think let's take a little look at the settings, and then we're going to boot up a game. So I'm just going to push B to go down to the settings menu. And then you can see here, you can change any of these settings that you want to, such as where your games boot from. Mine's set to the SD to SP2 card down here in the ports. The only other setting you might want to change initially is the memory card one. So you can emulate memory cards, but I have found they don't work with every single game. So something to do with audio streaming apparently. So I think we should just set it up. We can use it for the games that we can, but I have actually got a regular memory card in here as well for games that don't support emulation. So let's just go down to here. I haven't made any changes, so I'm just going to discard and exit, and I think we should just choose a game.
Ready? Go!
Let's not get those bananas behind the... there we go, through the goal. So there we have it, we've finished today's video, and I think it's been quite a successful one actually. We've got the Picoloader fitted, we've given the whole console a bit of a mild refresh and a bit of a new lease of life by fitting those new thermal pads. And although we didn't get the CD drive working, I did try cleaning the laser, and I did try cleaning the switch on the back that tells it when the doors open and close. There was just no sign of life. But we got the Picoloader fitted and the games are running great. So I think overall, I think we should be really pleased with what we've done today. So anyway, that's me done for today. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe and all that jazz, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care and goodbye.